Thank you. You work? I work for him.
Yes.
I was his confidential assistant. Let her go first. Let her go first. Let her go first.
I'm Eleanor Smeal, and I am the president of the Fund for the Feminist Majority, and I'm on the board of the National Organization for Women. I feel that I am very disturbed about the attack on groups. The groups had nothing to do, at least the two groups that I am associated with, and then the women's groups and the pro-choice groups had nothing to do with Anita Hill's testimony. We did not know her. We have never known her. And that the scurrilous attack on groups is outrageous. We testified not only on his philosophy, and we did that at length, we have also questioned the process. And we feel, and I feel extremely hurt that there is no senator and nobody that is rising to the defense of the groups that indeed are representing constituencies concerned not only with the process, but his record on sex discrimination.
I would like to comment. My name is Armstrong Williams. I was a confidential assistant to Judge Thomas.
Where?
From 1983 to 86 at the U.S. Equal Employment Opportunity Commission. As a black man, and what was said about the stereotypes as black men with long, and I don't want to even use the phrase that was used, is very true. It's very sad as an African American that they have this high drama going on in this courtroom, pitching a black woman against a black man. Because this is what is portrayed about us in movies, in magazines, and in many instances newspapers. And what you have here, let me make sure you realize what you have here. You just don't have ordinary blacks in this courtroom. You have very well-educated blacks from Yale Law School, from Holy Cross. They're like cream of the crop. And if they're in the courtroom bickering over this nonsense, what kind of message are we sending to our younger generation who's wrapped up in crime, who's wrapped up in drugs? We need to stop the high drama and deal with the problems not only in the black community, but in America.
But Mr. Williams, wasn't it a black woman who brought these charges in the first place?
She was a black woman, and let me just say this, and I would do this in all honesty. The black leadership, much of the black leadership was used because when Tawana Brawley had her situation in New York and all the discrepancies that she had in her story, the black leadership came out in her defense.
Are you saying that
she's lying? Let me finish. Yes, she is lying. When Marion Barry, who was then mayor of the District of Columbia, had allegations made against him about drugs and women, the black community rallied to his defense. Here's a man. The only crime against him is a philosophical difference. They had to go out and manufacture lies about his character, about his integrity, and what black leader has said anything. There is something wrong here, and there is hypocrisy, and we need to deal with it.
Do you see the systematic, a case of a black leader being destroyed by a system?
It is being destroyed, and they're using blacks to do it, and it must stop. We must stop the sensationalism. There is something wrong about this. Chairman Thomas is innocent. This is a good man, and what he said to us at the commission. He was very concerned about those stereotypes. This is ugly for America. This is more than just Thomas. This is for all Americans. We need to stop this because it's a lot of bigotry, and it's a lot of racism, and it helps no one.
Why would a black woman do this?
Because she was used. Sadly to say, I sympathize with Anita.
She was used by whom?
I cannot say that. My heart goes up. She was used by special interest groups.
How do you know that?
Those are my feelings, and in America, I'm entitled to them.
Do you have any evidence for that?
Next question.
I have a question. I have a very important question.
Yes.
Do you think that both of these individuals, Miss Hill and also Judge Thomas, should be brought before this committee at the same time, sitting there right beside each other and be questioned by this panel?
This should have taken place before doing the nomination process. It should have never gotten to this point. The senators had the information, someone leaked the information, and we all know it was purposely leaked, and this is what it has come to. This should have never happened. As a black man, as a black American, and as an American, I'm embarrassed by this situation.
How about, there's been questions about Jim Metzenbaum's office and Jim Grundy and other staffers. Can you say anything?
I do not want to comment on this. I apologize if I seem a little upset, and I was abrasive toward the lady, but let me just tell you, this is very painful. We've been involved in this, and I gotta tell you, it's a very sad day in this country when we have to sit and hear the vulgar language that we try to tell our children not to go to the movies and not to read in those vulgar magazines, that we can sit in a courtroom and hear it for 2 days in a row on all network television. There is something wrong when we're subjected to that.
Somebody else?